Well, hello everybody. So this is going to be a playthrough of Out of This World. Now, I'm not good at it, so there's going to be plenty of dying, but perhaps it's more entertaining to just watch somebody go through it and not say a word. So I guess go to a new game here, and I'm going to have to figure out the keys on this thing. Alright, so we got shift is the action button. The reason why I want to talk during this game is because I played this game when I was very young, and it's had a big impact on me, and it's one of those games that you just go back to and you enjoy playing. So this first scene here, you're just trying to scrape these leeches up with your foot and make sure they don't fall on you in order to prevent them from flipping up and then flipping up and scratching your leg and then poisoning you to death. Very tiny little scratch and then suddenly you're dead. This beast is scary. We've found that pressing the jump button at the same time that you're running, you run a lot faster in the game than you do if you normally just run. The beast gets a lot closer to you, but he falls down at some certain points and stuff, and it's not that big a deal. Then you go run into these lovely fellas who just don't seem to be happy to see you. They're like, what the heck are you? And I guess the whole point, the entry of this game was about him doing some sort of experiment during a thunderstorm. And he got zapped into some other universe or whatever. And these aliens are obviously a lot more muscular built. Now that scene right there where he was opening his eyes and they're very, like, I don't know, just the art there. As a kid, that freaked me out. And I think that's because it reminded me of Johnny Five, which was a TV or a movie that Short Circuit, Johnny Five, the robot, freaked me out when I was a kid. I hated those movies. And they still kind of give me the heebie-jeebies now, even though it's not that big of a deal. But I just remember always being freaked out about that, averting my eyes and stuff like that. So this scene right here, they put you in a cage over a pit. Don't know why. It seems like a lot of work when they just have a whole bunch of empty cages here to the right. But you swing around and then you upset this guy and then you crash down and kill him. And I remember when we were first playing this, this is a game that me and my brother were playing. Well, my brother was obviously a lot older and was a lot better at playing these games. But, whoops. He was a lot better at playing these games. And it took us a long time to figure out how to get past those parts here. So this gun has 3 modes. You fire laser, or you hold it down and then you make a little shield. And then there's also a third function of this gun, which allows you to build up a big ball of energy, and it fires out. And it's very destructive. You can use it to blow through certain walls and stuff. Oh, well, the graphics are obviously working well here, because this is supposed to be a landscape of weird-looking alien city, but apparently it's just snowy landscape. It's not that creepy now, is it? Unless you're petrified of snow. So this little area right here, there's a guy right on the other side of the screen. As you can see, our buddy runs out of there. But this is really hard to do because you go in there and he starts shooting at you immediately. So you gotta run in there. And it's really hard to do. Like, he just starts immediately shooting at you. And then, of course, you have to go all the way back here to the beginning. Swing this cage around until it breaks. Not sure why these guys didn't think of this. Like, hey, if we're going to hang somebody over a pit, we probably should make sure that cable that we're using has the tensile strength to handle shenanigans. It's funny, this guy just kind of lets you walk up on him because he's really not expecting anything. Something I've noticed is that, whoa! They have the ability to send their shield in from a different screen. Sometimes they can send it in from a different, from a different side of the screen. I've always liked to drop off our buddy right there just because he gets obnoxious running around in here. Okay, apparently crouching is not the solution here. Just immediately pulling the trigger. So what that did is it turned off the power to these doors right here. There's some... And I can't use my mouse on the screen here, but there's those 3 doors right down there. Those did have the ability to just open straight up, and so if you jump down in there, this guy would shoot you. Now, I've seen people that speed run through here, and somehow they still get through this without causing a problem. But this gun was almost dead, and so now it doesn't work. And because I used that big old ball of energy, it doesn't work anymore. And I have to jump down in this hole because otherwise that guy will come in there and he will kill me. Even though he walks up next to my buddy and then disappears. Now they made a cell phone version of this game and they made it a lot easier. The timings are a lot looser. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Some sort of culvert or some sort of vent or something that's got random gas shooting out. Yeah, in the mobile version, the right side spurts once, then twice, and then the left side spurts, which leads you to obviously want to go to the left side. But while it's perfectly even, you had to just kind of decide which way you wanted to go. And sometimes you'd fall too far and you'd kill yourself. You just die. So this apparently is a gun recharger. And so now my gun has as much energy in it as it could possibly need. And something I've noticed about this old Macintosh game is that if you build up one of these chargers and you shoot the wall from back here, it makes a big thung noise. Now as a kid, that was the coolest thing ever. But whoa. There's obviously some graphics issues going on here. There's a scene here where you can kind of see the background and stuff. This is actually kind of problematic because I can't see where I need to jump at. Because somewhere along here there's a ledge that I need to jump from. Oh, and I missed the ledge. And there's spikes down there if you miss the ledge. Okay, that's dumb. I wonder if I could download a different version that doesn't have these graphics issues, or maybe there's some sort of options in here. Hide background? Oh. Well, that's fine. There's not a whole lot of options here. Whatever. We'll figure out a way. For the most part, the game's fine. Okay, it was about right here. Ah, nope, didn't do it in time. I like how his hair gets all this static electricity in it. flies up in the air. So this game was really about... Okay, I'm really not sure why those first couple shots didn't hit him, but... Because as plot armor, there's a lot of times in which their laser shots don't hit you, but usually not any times where your laser shots don't hit them. I mean, you're the hero, so you gotta just barely make it through alive, right? So that was kind of confusing. This scene that's going on in front of you, or right in front of the screen, that's actually your buddy running away from some bad guys. Hey, I made it. Okay. And I just happen to know that there's a little door here that you blow open, and then you walk down into a cave. Again, I have no idea why the graphics are messed up. Now this particular level, we were stuck on for a long time. You know, this is back whenever this game was, you know, fairly new, or at least this particular port of the game. I guess this game's not particularly old, but this particular port of it is. But we got stuck in this cave for a long time, and it wasn't until the internet started developing websites with cheats on them that you get those little codes that you die with, that we actually cheated and got past a certain point. Now these are just kind of timing games here. And I like to wait until these rocks are a little bit more lined up. And this rock here. Now these tentacle things, they will grab you and suck you up inside if you stand too still. Oh, I didn't jump in time. And the thing about these games, there's a certain amount of like, how would I describe it? It looks like pretty free-flowing movement here for the most part, but there is still some certain amount of snapping into place that causes some issues sometimes. Trying to get around things, or I guess maybe like a buffer for, you know, your keyboard inputs, and so you don't jump immediately when you push the jump button. You have to wait until a certain animation is done, and then you jump. I think I waited too long on these rocks here. Gotta wait for them to go back around. I'm just gonna... Okay, I'm not sure. If you run right underneath those things, they're not supposed to suck you up inside them. But I tell you, when I was a young kid, this game was creepy. Like those things eating you like that, and you in the blood. It was give me the heebie-jeebies. Surprised my mom let me play this game. But yeah, since this game has gotten older, they've gotten like a 30-year anniversary version. And they ported it over to mobile, and they made it a much easier. Like certain rocks aren't falling, or the sequences are slower. They just made the game a lot easier to beat on the mobile. And that's partly due to the fact that the mobile controls are really clunky. Whoa! Man, I'm getting too close to that thing. This game was not easy back then. It's not easy now. But obviously if these rocks fall on you, they will kill you. Now it's pretty curious how the same looking rocks just keep coming out of these, you know, where are these rocks coming from? You think eventually they would run out. These games weren't hyper realistic. Okay. I mean, you have to run under this guy in order for him to not be able to get you. And he's too high up to be able to shoot him, because if you shoot him, they'll stun him and they'll kind of suck up inside for a little while. Ah, keep messing up here. Which makes sense because this was probably one of the hardest parts of the game right here, and one of the longest sequences between save codes, or state codes, or whatever you would call them, levels. Oops, that was just bad timing. I can show you what's over here real quick. There's this water thing right here that you shoot. But it's important for you to go all the way over to the other end of the, where I was heading earlier. It's important for you to do that because there's a little, I suppose that's quicker. There's a little wall that you have to blow out with your gun in order for the water to do everything that it needs to, in order for you to go where you need to go. And which I think underwater there's some sort of electrical line that you have to go down there and shoot and destroy the electricity for a particular level, and at some point it makes it a lot easier for you to get through something, or probably not even easier, it just makes it possible. Like I said, there's speedrunners that go through this kind of stuff all the time, or they go through these things really fast, and they can get through these scenes ridiculously fast. Okay, so the secret to that screen is that rock happens. Okay, these first couple rocks, they fall, and then there's another rock that falls wherever you happen to be standing after those rocks. So that rock over here that I'm walking towards, that one is variable. It'll land wherever you happen to have been standing at the time when, whatever the measurement's for. These levels are really hard for just trying to get everything perfect. You got a long ways to go here before you get to another save point. I think you have to complete this whole sequence to the right before you can get another save point. Oh no, there's a save point at the wall that you blow out, I think. Okay. Hey, I made it. Okay. And these guys you can just slowly jump over. And here, I like to just go ahead and blow these guys away, since we have unlimited, I don't know what you'd call this, torpedo. Now this one was tough here. You had to get the, and sometimes the sounds stick. You had to get this one just perfect as to not, to jump over two of those things. So this is the underwater area here, or this will be filled up with water at some point, and then you'll have to come down here swimming and go down into that hole back there. And down there is the thing that you have to shoot. But this is what you have to blow out here in order for the water to come down here and flood this area. So these are all things that we had to learn through trial and error, and this is the worst spot right here because this is really hard to jump over. I remember having so much trouble getting through this part as a kid. Alright, made it through. So the key here is to shoot at this bat. The bat gets upset and goes and flies around, and then he'll fly over here and get caught up in that tentacle thing. And that way you can jump over here and slide up these stalactites, stalagmites. I don't know my cave terminology well enough, but the ones that are hanging from the ceilings. And that way you don't get sucked up inside there and die tragically and have to restart that whole sequence again. So this thing here, you just shoot the bottom of it and it breaks it and allows it to be a ramp. And then jump over this here. And this was the part that we couldn't figure out. This is the stage that we were stuck for a long time until we got cheat codes, and then we were actually able to complete the game once we figured out how we needed to complete it. Because you got to outrun this water once you break this. And it's not terribly easy to outrun the water. But at least there's a save point right here. And the thing that we were unable to figure out was that you ultimately have to jump over here and stand on this little platform, and the water will push you up, and then you'll be up at the next platform and you'll be able to continue the rest of the game. And for some reason we just weren't able to figure that out, unless my brother figured it out and didn't tell me. Yeah, I'm sure I was that annoying younger brother that liked to just sit there and watch him play games. I did that all the time. I mean, it was more entertaining than TV. Of course, we didn't get any channels hardly. Okay, there's something about that jump input is not quite registering, so and like I was talking, certain animations have to be completed before that next jump animation will actually work. So maybe I need to just slow down and do one of these little gay hops here. Or maybe that's a little insensitive, but my brother always made fun of his movements. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh my. Well, that almost worked. These little hops were kind of, I guess, a little bit feminine, but you know, whatever. Yeah, bad idea. Horrible idea. So these games were just trial and error. You just try things until they work. And I remember that big area in the back where we blew out that wall. We would walk in there and we were thinking, well, maybe your buddy comes down the, you know, we're trying to figure out how to get past this portion, and maybe your buddy comes down there and rescues you or something, or you have to do a certain amount of shots, or shoot things in a certain sequence, or yeah, I did it. Okay, and that right there was the part that we could not figure out for the longest time. Oh, and you know, a key part of this was, you know, you blow through that and you'd walk over here, and there would be this water. Well, normally this is, you know, gray and looks like a big concrete wall or something here. But the key point was there's a huge waterfall right here, and you couldn't go anywhere unless, you know, if you walked into it, you just immediately drown because you get washed down the waterfall. But the point is here that for some reason draining the water underneath it made the waterfall go away, which makes absolutely no sense. But here we are. So you go to this. This was completely new to us. We had never seen this before, and it was super exciting. And that's our buddy downstairs. And there is a grill in his way, and he just can't get through it. I mean, it looks like a barrel ring, and that, you know, maybe he could just walk right through it, but there's bars through it. There's actually a sequel to this game called The Heart of the Alien, which you play from his perspective, and it's got a lot of cutscenes in it. The game's actually not very good, and like when you die, they have like sometimes 10-second cutscenes, which just super annoying. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. Every time that you're dying, the cutscenes need to be real short and sweet. Oh, and also another nice glitch is, even though I went to the downstairs part of the waterfall, I ended up at the upstairs part of the waterfall, because it wanted to prevent me from going here and not making any sense as to what we're doing for our buddy right here. Apparently that I don't know what kind of engineering this is, but that grill that he can't get through is tied to this chain right here. So you shoot that, lamp off of it, chandelier, and now he's able to get through it. I guess that chandelier was just too heavy. I don't know what's a good idea here. There we go. We'll go back upstairs, and you'll see right at the very end of the screen here, you'll see our buddy crawling through to the next. Oh no, you'll see him crawling through in the next. Yeah. On the next screen. Now somebody comes here. And the only reason I know about this stuff is because they play this so long. And since our gun is charged up, we can have unlimited shots here. I remember this one took me a little while. The secret to this is, he'll shoot at you, and he's got one of these electric fences that's pretty much infinite. You can see it above his head. You can't blow one of those things away with torpedoes or whatever. And you walk up to this door, and it'll open, and he throws his little ground torpedoes. And then you walk away from the door, and it kills him. Brilliant, right? I mean, not very smart. It would have been better for him to just shoot at my shield and get it done. So right here's a scene that makes it a lot easier to get through something later, because this guy actually, that below, has a infinite shield. And so you wait until his little reflection gets underneath the ball, and then you shoot it and it falls on him, and later you'll see that that guy is dead. This is another gun recharger. I don't know why it's here. You don't need it. Your gun never runs out of energy. At least I'm pretty sure that we tried. Okay, well here's a fun tidbit we had fun with. When you're running and jumping, these doors can't handle it. Yeah, it's simple things that entertain you as a kid. Although I'm still entertained, so what does that say about me? Now, I'm going to walk right to the edge of the screen, and somebody's going to punch me in the face. It's like, I don't know why I didn't see this guy, but ugh. And so he'll pick me up. I'll press the shift key. I'll kick him in the crotch, because apparently these guys have balls. Ah! And then I'll do a nice little rolling action to pick up my gun and heroically kill him. Okay, now this is kind of a tough situation, because there is two guys that come here. They come at you from both directions. So I make a big shield right here, and then set up one here. That guy almost made it to me though. So here's this water area. I'm trying to remember where. Okay, so this is the guy that we killed earlier with that dangling green ball, which I guess is just a giant glass sphere hanging over him. A lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense, but he was sitting right here with a big shield that you couldn't shoot through, and then he'd throw those little ground torpedo things on you. And like I said, I've seen speedrunners just barrel right through there somehow, and they don't need to go do all this. But I'm playing the game as it was originally intended to play. I remember trying to hold my breath the same amount of time as a kid as this guy was holding his breath, and that was rough. And I just happened to know that I need to swim up this one because there's air. The other one, obviously, there's no air, and so you would drown pretty quickly after that. So I gotta go down here. This is a terrible one too, because it takes so long to swim through the water, and this spot right here is really problematic to get over. You can go over here and shoot this power, but jumping over this here is like the worst. I'm gonna try doing a run and jump. It's probably a really bad idea. I gotta press the run. Yep, terrible idea. This is one of the worst spots right here, just because this water's so slow. and not that entertaining, you know. So you mess up down there, you just got to do this whole swimming portion again. It's kind of boring. And another hard part is it's really hard to get right up next to these floor teethy things, and because I gotta basically stand right there in order to jump back into the water. So it's really hard to just get that off. I did not mean to press the up key. One of the problems with, I just fairly recently bought a mechanical keyboard, and the actuation point is so much higher than an old style rubber dome keyboard, you know, just your regular cheap ones. You know, you got to press the key all the way down in order for it to register your key press. And I found that my fingers are quite lazy, and they just kind of sit on the buttons halfway pressed, but don't, you know, which worked just fine on an old crappy style keyboard. But it's definitely better for games, esports, really fast-paced games. I've definitely noticed it has a better reaction time, but it also has a lot of unintended effects, especially for games like this where you press one key, the wrong key, and everything's messed up. Okay, I think that's close enough. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, I've always hated that part, because I would just mess it up so many times as a kid, and it would just be really frustrating. But can you imagine? I mean, back in the day, this sort of game here was just, it was so immersive. It, you know, you could really feel yourself, you know, in this stressful situation here, swimming in this really deep, dark water. I mean, can you imagine? It'd be intense. Alright. That's done. And this guy's dead. So let's see what... Oh yeah, the power that I killed was in this room right here, right below. These doors open automatically, I think. I think I'm gonna jump down into some chaos here. Yep. Oh my. Oh, thank goodness I don't have to do that all over again. But yeah, these doors are automatically open for their gunfire, and so they obviously just kill you like crazy if you don't break that electricity down there in the water. So here you gotta sit here and wait for your buddy to pick you up. Pick me up! And they shoot up. Whoa. Shoot up, some rocks fall on them, so now they're disabled. And our buddy ran into this room and got held up at gunpoint. But I'm gonna go in here and save the day. And it's funny, his little hand-to-hand combat there with that one guy lasts just as long as his little fight back there lasts exactly as long as my fight does. And so I've seen speedrunners go through there and they end that fight immediately, and so he's just like punching him twice and he's already dead. So this particular part here, our buddy tries to jump this and he doesn't make it. And so he's just hanging here for his dear life. me shooting his gun at him made it look like he failed his jump, but it really didn't change the outcome. So I jump down here and I grab this, and then get into another fight with 2 people. Oh, apparently I needed to make more shields. Yeah, but yeah, this little fight lasts just as long as my fight does. Mildly entertaining, I guess. Throw me. Woo. Die. I don't know why that entertained me as a kid. Oh dear. Ah. Yeah, sometimes the whole method of making one of those big ball of torpedoes, I don't know what to call it. Sometimes that method doesn't seem to work. And obviously their method is to create a shield and then create another one and just keep creeping onto you until they can shoot past your shield. Whoops. That's not what I intended to do. Obviously I died from that. It's just a little too far to fall. Sometime soon here, I will There we go. I think that worked. Okay. Now, for some reason there's random people shooting at you, but they never hit you, so it's kind of weird. Trying to go up these stairs here. Okay. So the idea was to jump over here, create a shield, then blow a hole in his door, and he'll throw these little torpedoes. Ah, crap. I need to make a bigger shield. Anyway, he throws his little torpedoes down here, and it creates a divot. It creates a hole in the floor here. And eventually break through it. Break through the floor, and then you can... So the point here was that little button above his head locks this door, and it also locked the door above it. There's really no point in me continuing this because I have to have this hole here in the ground. So I go down here, and this guy can't automatically open his door. And then I'm supposed to go down here and shoot another power circuit, which saves my life in a later scene. But I can't get down there because of this, so I guess I need to just go find somewhere I can kill myself. Or I can go... If I get close enough to this guy, he'll just punch me to death. Okay. These stairs are kind of difficult to use in this game. Okay, I'm going to make a bigger shield this time. So I can wait. I think he has to throw down 5 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's plenty. So now there's a big old hole down here. But I don't want to go down the hole yet because I have to... Ugh. See, I need to shoot the power here. Because here, these people will shoot at me. But I've seen speedrunners get through this. They just jump through it somehow. I'm sure there's just some little tiny gimmick there that they're... So maybe I need to go in here and do this portion first. Point my gun at this guy. He closes those doors. And then I go upstairs and do this part. That way it'll already be done. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's plenty. Go down here and kill this guy. Sometimes they only use those big torpedoes instead of using the laser pistol, which is kind of stupid of them because it takes so long to charge up. Alright, now I'm ready to jump down in here. And you can see the power's not at this panel or whatever, and so this room is dark. So now I can just run across the floor, and whoever was downstairs misses me. Now you go over here, and there's a handle here. This handle, or this lever, opens up all of the horrible beasts downstairs and creates chaos. And so through this chaos, I can run away and survive. So I can go up here, and then I can walk over here, and for some reason that lowers a little floor for my buddy to come out on, and so we go up here. And this is getting towards end game here. These people are chasing us, and then we get in this weird, I don't know what the hell this thing is. It's some weird little craft that you get into, and now you're like in a gladiator thing. And then I got these little buttons that I need to press until I get that white button right here, and then I can press that and it ejects us. And instead of swimming in snow, this is the scene right here where it's like a pool, and I guess that was a whole bunch of their women hanging out. Oh my, I'm going the wrong direction here. Yeah, there's some graphics here that obviously you can't see very well. So here, I'm getting shots on the back of side of my shield, but so my shields are getting deactivated a lot quicker, but those shots never actually hit me. And there's like 4 guys here. So there's a lot of plot armor here, and the lasers coming at, you know, from this camera's point of view, they never actually hit me. And my buddy comes to the glass here, and I'm running along here, and all of a sudden I get hit by some weird looking laser. My buddy's like, "Where did you go?" And this is a big long distance that said I was gonna fall there. And so here's an evil guy. See, his eyes are red. That makes him evil. And he picks me up and throws me against the wall, which is pretty rude. Like, and then he kicks me and flips me over. And so now my buddy gets in a fight with him. And my job is to crawl over here and pull these levers. So one of these levers is a big bolt of energy that will kill the bad guy when he climbs over to me, and then the other one opens up a door that I can go up through. Doesn't make any sense. So now that I'm here, I just kind of wait for their fight to get over with, and my buddy will get thrown over the side. And then I paused the game. I guess caps lock pauses it, which is probably good because I did not have my hand on the right key. Shift. Oh, I missed. Oh no. Anyways, that white scene there is supposed to be a really long distance. Kind of reminds me of a Borg cube, where it's just green and just looks like it goes to infinity, which is kind of a weird look. And I have to do this whole scene again here. But we're almost done. I probably won't fail again. And then this video will be over. I'm just going to wait for these guys to make a new shield. That was a bad idea, but it worked out. Okay. These guys are going to get in my shield here real soon. Well, they kept staggering their shields, where normally their shields are made in the same spot, which means one of those bolts will break through it. So like that one bolt broke both of their shields, and I was able to kill both of them. This game's slowing down every once in a while. One more guy. Buddy comes to the glass. Something comes along here and ruins my ability to keep going. This guy catches me, which that would hurt like hell. That would pull your arm out of socket. Just wouldn't be a good way to go. Getting kicked in the face and launched backwards, your spine would be all ruined. But hey, it's a game. Alright, so I'm gonna have my hand on the right key here, the shift or the control key, so I won't mess this up this time. But my job is to just crawl over here with the last bit of my life. And be ready to pull this lever. I'm ready. Throw my buddy over the edge. And then right about now, zap. And then now I open the door and I have to start scooting backwards. Because there will be random lasers that'll shoot at my feet and my head. Right above my head, right below my feet. They'll miss me. Then again, they'll do it again, they'll miss. But then the second one, well, yeah. Okay, I'm right there. Alright, and that's it. The game is won. I'm no longer having any control over my character. Now you get to listen to the fancy music. Guess they rudely interrupt the music here. I remember it going longer than that, but that seems to be it. And that kind of music, you know, after you worked so hard to get to the end of this game, that kind of music, it just kind of had an impact on me. And there's a lot of people that have done remixes or complete redos of that particular song. Sound very good on YouTube. You can look up the Amiga remix for Another World theme. I'll put it in the YouTube link or in the information down below this video. But anyways, thanks for watching. The Sheep Shaver emulator is what I'm using to do this, and the instructions are pretty clear on how to actually set it up and everything. If you're feeling nostalgic and you want to play some old Macintosh games that you used to play as a kid, it's pretty easy to set up, especially on Windows. I actually had trouble setting up this emulator on a Macintosh, which I thought was strange, but yeah, ultimately the infrastructure or the architecture that these computers are running on, Macintosh and PC both use the same architecture, whereas back in the day they did not. Macintosh had their own architecture that they ran on, and so the idea of them being more compatible on a Macintosh was really didn't make any sense. But it runs decently well on PC, and at least runs well enough for you to run some games and have some fun. But anyways, I'll see you next time. Take care. I'm ending this like it's a phone call. This is really the first video I've ever done, so you're gonna have to forgive me.